Are you over 60 and love eggs? You're in luck, because they are a fantastic source of nutrients. But did you know that the way you cook them can make a big difference, especially when it comes to your long-term brain health? Today, we're diving into the science of cooking eggs to maximize their benefits and minimize any potential downsides. So, what's the big deal with how you cook an egg? Well, some researchers and nutrition experts have pointed out that cooking at extremely high temperatures for a long time can cause a couple of things to happen. First, it can oxidize the cholesterol in the yolk. Second, it can create something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. That S, a fancy term for compounds that form when proteins or fats react with sugars under high heat. Think of the crispy brown bits on fried foods. In laboratory studies, these compounds have been linked to inflammation and cellular stress, which aren't great for our brains over the long run. Now, before you panic and throw out your carton of eggs, let's be clear. This does not mean eggs are suddenly bad for you. It just means that the cooking method can change their chemistry. By making a few small tweaks, you can reduce your exposure to these potentially harmful compounds, while still getting all the amazing protein, vitamins, and minerals that eggs have to offer. Let's start by looking at the cooking styles that tend to create more of these oxidative compounds. The main culprits are methods that involve very high heat and prolonged cooking times. Think of an egg fried on a scorching hot pan until the edges are dark brown and crispy, or an omelet cooked so long it becomes rubbery and charred in spots. Deep frying eggs, while not as common, also falls into this category. When you see that browning or charring, that's a visual cue that some of these chemical reactions are taking place. The goal isn't to completely eliminate these methods, but to be mindful of how often we use them and how intense the cooking process is. Now for the good news. There are plenty of gentle cooking methods that preserve the egg's nutrients and limit the creation of harmful byproducts. These are the methods we want to lean into, especially as we get older. First up is poaching. Poaching involves cooking the egg in simmering water, which is a much lower, more controlled temperature than a hot, oily pan. The result is a tender egg with a perfectly runny yolk, and all its delicate nutrients are kept intact. Next, we have soft boiling and hard boiling. Boiling is another water-based method that uses gentle, consistent heat. A soft-boiled egg gives you that wonderful liquid yolk, which means it hasn't been exposed to high heat for very long. Even a hard-boiled egg, as long as you don't overcook it to the point where you get that gray-green ring around the yolk, is a great option. That ring is actually a sign of a chemical reaction between sulfur and iron, which can happen when the egg is cooked too long or at too high a temperature. What about scrambled eggs? We all love them, and you can absolutely make them in a brain-healthy way. The key is low and slow. Instead of blasting them on high heat, start with a moderately heated pan. Add your whisked eggs and stir them gently and constantly. As they start to set, you can even turn the heat down to low or remove the pan from the heat entirely to let the residual warmth finish the cooking. This prevents overcooking and gives you creamy, delicious scrambled eggs without the high heat damage. Another fantastic, though more advanced, method is sous vide. It's the ultimate gentle cooking method, ensuring the eggs never get hotter than your target temperature. This technique perfectly preserves the egg's texture and nutritional integrity, producing some of the most delicious eggs you'll ever taste. So, to recap the gentler options, poaching, boiling, low-heat scrambling, and sous vide are your best friends. Now, let's get into some simple, practical tips you can start using in your kitchen today. First, avoid burning the yolk. The yolk is where the cholesterol is, so you want to be extra gentle with it. Aim for tenderness. For scrambled eggs, take them off the heat when they still look a little moist. They will continue to cook for a moment on the plate. Antioxidants are nature's defense squad. They help neutralize harmful free radicals in the body. So, when you have your eggs, think about adding a side of spinach or kale, some sliced tomatoes or bell peppers, or even a handful of berries. Enjoy your eggs as part of a meal that's rich in fiber. Think whole grain toast, oatmeal, or a side of beans. Fiber can help with cholesterol management in the body. Most of the studies looking at these cooking byproducts and their effects on the brain are preliminary. The real-world impact on humans is still being studied, so there is absolutely no need to panic or become afraid of cooked eggs. It's all about tipping the scales in your favor. Consider switching just one or two of your current egg habits. These are low-effort swaps that don't sacrifice taste or texture but may reduce your long-term exposure to these compounds.